It actually will be helped by this army. So if we had artillery, I think I would fight them. But like this, I don't think it's safe enough. Although, guys, actually, we could do something interesting. We actually took their fort. Haha! Suckers! Big brain. Boy, oh boy, big brain. Now I know how Albert Einstein felt. Hello there, folks. Hatman here, and I truly hope you're having a lovely day. We're playing Rome 2, Divided Impera as Macedon, and we have ourselves a very interesting situation, and we're currently in Northern Africa. We're progressing to the Roman territory. The problem is they have two armies, and, well, both of their armies are encamped. One is basically empty, only general is here, and the second one is full, so we have a kind of solid army, not great though. It's mostly mercenaries that we could find in different territories. A lot of Libyan hoplites or Libyan infantry. So Romans do have the advantage infantry-wise. They also have better skirmishers than we do. We slightly have advantage in cav, to be honest. But it's a very special battle because Romans are defending the fort. And if we were about to allow them to kind of reinforce this fort, we would never win. There is no way you can destroy Romans in a pitched battle like this, or even in the open ground will be very difficult to defeat them. They will cause a lot of casualties. So one of my ideas here was that I'm gonna strike a small army. I'm gonna take their fort away, and well, let's see what happens here. I purposefully surrounded the fort from all sides. There are 3 entrances, and now Romans have no idea what to do. Like, there is no way they can defend from all the sides. It's only a general unit. So Roman general actually decides to flee. Their reinforcement is going to come from this side, and they are trying to kind of go back and catch up with their reinforcements. But it's kind of already too late because we have our skirmish cav.
As you say,
they're kind of fading the attack and falling back. This is their purpose on the battlefield. And that was painful. Oh, we can see they're trying to squeeze between our cav and infantry, but our cav is still feigning attack here. We changed the angle a little bit. And yeah, our cav just baited them out. They're too heavy, they're too slow. There's no way they can catch our light cav. But now our infantry's firing as well. Look at the slaughter, man. They look badass, but that's too bad. They all died. Well, now fort is open. There's nobody there, but we have a slight problem that we need to capture. Basically, not only the center of the fort. This gives you morale buff, but also you need to take archer towers because they'll be constantly firing at your guys. And now we can see the initial Roman army approaching to support their fort. And I was expecting them to be rushing in with their cav, with their skirmishers. So I'm fronting here. I'm using my cav to kind of dissuade them from doing anything stupid. Well, my infantry is actually tasked with taking the fort and organizing the defenses of the fort. They have a companion cavalry unit. These guys are great. I really like them. A really good skirmish cav with a lot of... actually, melee cav with a lot of skirmishing potential. We have Principes over here. We have, again, late Principes. These are awesome units, by the way. This is pre-Marian Rome. No, Triarii, phenomenal unit. Really badass. They have some mercenary units. Some federal troops, basically, as well. But they have a lot of really high-quality infantry. And... their infantry will be very difficult to defeat on the battlefield, and they have legate unit. These guys are phenomenal looking. Well, I suppose they saw that their general was gone, and there was nobody to save in the fort, so they did not rush. It was actually a very smart decision by them not to rush here, because, you know, they will come piecemeal and it will be much easier for us to defeat them. But look at our general, man. Look at this guy. But you can see very interesting movement here. They're moving this side in a diagonal way, so I decided to peel off my calves. So, like, enough is enough. We're just gonna hide them behind the fort, hoping that the enemy will kind of bunch up here, so we can flank them a bit later. We'll see if that happens. And of course, one of our entrances will be plugged in by Bronze Shield Pikemen. These guys are absolute legends. They have 37 armor here. Very high, very capable unit, specifically on defense. Romans are very difficult to fight off, but these guys can really stop them in their tracks. And on this side, as I mentioned before, we have our Libyan hoplites. These guys are solid. They're only classified as medium infantry, so they're not great, but they can hold their ground for quite some time. And you can see that we did not push them very close to the palisade. We opened up some area so we can actually maybe charge from the flanks a bit later. And then I realized that the enemy is having advantage when it comes to skirmishers. And this is where I put my lighter troops here, mostly as basically skirmish bait. The angle they're approaching is not good for us, because they're gonna be attacking like this, so they're gonna have open flank on these guys or these guys, and it's not the best, but yeah, Romans are playing this one very smart. Our cav is in the back, and we have 2 units of our Numidian archers. These guys are not bad. And this is the time when I decided maybe we have too many men inside of the fort. So maybe it will be smarter, just because they have skirmish advantage, as I mentioned before. We kind of gave it up here because we positioned archers way in the back, because I feel like we cannot win, and maybe we can force enemy skirmishers to be ineffective. Because they have levies and slingers, I was hoping that they can, you know, be avoided by palisade. The palisade will provide us with some kind of protection. We're getting these troops out so we can, you know, peel off to the left and right and basically surround the enemy as they potentially commit here. But we will see what they will do. Well, here we can see something very interesting happening. Romans are again pivoting their attack. So it seems like they're going on this side as well. They're going to try to strike both entrances here simultaneously, which is, you know, pretty good tactics. And I see this and I kind of panic and push one unit back inside. But let's see this from the Roman perspective. They start firing with their slingers. These are levies and they're moving in. They have much shorter range, so they have to come closer, and they're slowly being under fire by our arrow tower.
Forward! Run, curse you!
Enemy skirmish cav is positioning there. Enemy general is here. These guys are actually peppering our wide shield infantry from the flank. Now, enemy general is having to lead an attack, trying to break through the pike formation here. Usually not the smartest thing to do, but they're gonna try. Now our archers are opening fire directly on the enemy general. They are well armored, but the problem is they're facing arrow towers. They're facing our archers, and they're facing pikemen here in a very confined area. So they gotta take heavy casualties here. Their cav is firing upon our Libyan hoplites, and you can see they're taking some casualties. Even though this is their shielded side, it's not easy. And finally, enemy general gives up on this idea. They slowly start falling back. Lost about half of their men. But now their infantry also is tasked with kind of flanking or kind of stopping our flank attempt on this side. And I can see their cav and infantry kind of positioning on this side as well. So I peel off a couple of units on the left flank. And this is where I realize, okay, we're going to have some issues. We're generally kind of flanking on this side and straight into our Libyan infantry. Libyans are really good. Like, they're maybe similar to early Roman Hastati. They have similar traits. Now our archers are firing in the open and destroying the enemy general here. This was enough for the enemy general to start fleeing. But Roman reinforcements are coming in. They have Principes here. On the other side, you can see they have their cav. And this is where I decide to use my light cav as well to flank them. Romans are very well equipped, and they have awesome shields and armor, but not from the back. So this is where we decide to flank them big time. Enemy cavalry is kind of falling back. They decided that maybe this is not the best situation for them. But look at the slaughter here. And something very interesting happened here. I was kind of expecting Romans to charge in once again, but they did something completely different. They decided to go for our archers. It's a great decision. Our archers are firing a volley directly into the Romans, and look at this. They look so badass. But now, our infantry is charging from behind, and these guys are kind of stuck. Nowhere to run. They're fleeing for their lives. They're already kind of exhausted. And here, we already destroyed one unit. We're destroying the second one. Our general is ramping up kills big time. Look at that. Yeah, these guys had enough. The problem is our archers also got pummeled in that initial charge. But now we're moving to the flank of the Romans. They're heavily committed here, and they lost their protection force on our right flank, on their left flank. And now we're gonna use our light cav, chase after their skirmishers. These are early Hastati. They're really good against cav. The problem is that they're engaged here by our infantry. Now our general is observing the situation. Our light cav is destroying their skirmishers. Let's check the charge. Oh yeah. That was really, really painful here. this was enough to break them. Well, our skirmish cav is basically finishing off their skirmishers, and now they take one of the Principes units, and they're gonna fighting off our cav. Well, here there's a huge brawl. Romans trying to enter the fort, and our Libyans are kind of pushing them back. On this side, we can see that our pikemen are doing well, but they're taking casualties. Romans are trying to break their formation here. And we're gonna use our Libyans to flank them big time here. This unit of Triarii had enough, and they're kind of fleeing here. But look at the slaughter in this area in particular. Complete devastation. Now our archers are positioning where they should be, right behind the enemy.
All right. Warriors, move out. Advance at speed.
On the right flank, Romans are actually pushing back.
Quickly now. Get ready.
Oh yeah. Right in the back of Roman infantry here. But Romans realizing how bad of a position this is for them. They're trying to push into our skirmishers, and our cav trying to push us back. And on this side, we're moving our infantry to get behind them. They managed to engage our general, but general was smart enough to flee. You do not want to be fighting spear unit like this. And our archers are trying to flee from this type of engagement. The general is still running away. Trying to force the enemy to commit and draw them far away from the fort so we can deal with them piecemeal. The same is happening here with our light cav. And this is where we rear charge these guys. One of our hoplites is wavering, as well as one of the Roman units. It will be very difficult for them to break through because now they don't have numerical superiority anymore. And we can see that we have our Libyans behind them. Great one. We're trying to engage from the back as well. We're also using our archers to fire at the enemy. And here we can see our general is again forming to attack from the rear.
Forward!
Charge! Ah. And now we're gonna do bait and switch. We basically are gonna fall back with our cav, and we're gonna front them with our infantry unit. Romans are losing here as well, being, you know, sacrificed, being fired upon constantly, being surrounded and exhausted. And yeah, this was enough to break them here. On this side, we had a successful charge as well, and now we're going to be repositioning our archers to fire upon these guys. Can you imagine being here in the combat and then like you turn and you can hear the cav and everything? This was like a very frightening sight. Ah. Yeah, these guys are gone again. Just Romans getting overwhelmed. On these side, Romans have 4 healthy units, very strong units. And they kind of know already. They made a big dent in our pike unit. They're pushing forward. They're losing a lot of men here, but maybe this is their only chance. And now maybe some of them starting to realize that, you know, the rest of their army is gone and they're the only one left here. And then again, they're being fired upon by archers in the back. Like, you cannot go forward, you cannot go backwards. What do you do? And this is the time when they decide to retreat. Like, enough was enough. Let's try to retreat. But this is where our Libyan and Numidian cavalry is chasing after them. Our general is there. Pilla is being fired upon them, and they are being slaughtered left and right. They're trying to enter some kind of Tesuda formation and to bunch up to protect themselves, but it's not really working all that well. They're packed like sardines. There is no running away from this. How about here? Oh, we have a couple of guys that managed to escape. Look at the blood of his shield. You gonna run away? Really? Let us see. Uh-oh. Ah, no. Ah, that was nasty. That was nasty. Well, once again, Macedonian cavalry is carrying out the day. We had about 700 losses, while the enemies suffered about 3,000 more. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching, and consider actually watching the entire video of the campaign, and thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. See you next time. Bye-bye.